Somebody come get 'em. They're too old for TikTok.
Hello and welcome to Too Old for TikTok. It's episode 216. It's July. We just had July 4th. Very exciting to have a long weekend off of work, but not celebrate America, as Catalina is making faces at me about July 4th. How are you, Catalina?
I'm fine. I just, on July 5th, I returned to this godforsaken country. Probably shouldn't say that on the record or I'm going to get denaturalized, but...
Yeah, you were in Europe for so long. How does it feel to be back in Columbus?
Frankly, not great.
Is that because you're moving? It's probably stressful.
No, the only thing making me not annoyed about being back is the fact that we have like this big project ahead of us. And so it gives, some forward momentum, but I was happy. I was enjoying. I was having a lovely time. I mean, I guess it got very hot towards the end, and that's always unpleasant. And it is nice to be in your space with your stuff. But now, as you have said, I am moving, and we will be slowly moving this week. Not this week. I'm so sorry. My brain is mush. We will be slowly moving this month into our new home. So I'm just going to be living in disarray across two houses for the next month, and actually 2 months, because frankly, we probably won't get set up until August, because I'm also doing travel in between and blah, blah, blah. It's fine. All good things to come.
All good things, but still stressful.
I also found out about something very cool in Columbus, which is we have this program where you can take out tools like a library.
Wow, and then
awesome?
From where?
I don't know. My friends were talking about it yesterday. It's a tool library. It's probably funded by public funds, those things. Yeah, we're going to give it a try with a pruning thing.
Cool.
I'll report back.
Prune.
So that's my cool life right now. But yeah, it gives us some things to do in a town that we'll get to later is the fashion capital of the United States.
Yes, we'll get to that later. There's a lot of Columbus TikTok. Has TikTok been helping you with any design inspiration?
Frankly, I'm not back on my TikTok grind. Although, as soon as I touched U.S. soil, I was watching TikTok again. Very interesting.
You are back on your grind.
I am, but I haven't been outwardly been looking things up. I also, from having been off of TikTok and then now back on TikTok for a while, 3 days, am remembering how watching different people's content about skincare and their lives and stuff kind of really I don't know if it affects my mental health negatively.
I'm sure it does.
But it definitely affects my approach at life, which is really crazy to think about.
Yeah, it alters your brain. It is very crazy.
Yeah, we spend so much time consuming how to basically optimize every aspect of our lives. And that's also something that I think where you get decision paralysis and you get overwhelmed by your inability to optimize every aspect of your life. I almost don't want to be on house TikTok because it's just gonna stress me out probably.
Well, it's interesting because once TikTok hasn't learned yet that you're moving because you're just back on TikTok. So once it learns, then it's the phases of life. You'll just start getting content. And it's when you were getting married, where the wedding content could be overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, home improvement stuff, I have looked up some things, but I almost wonder, I bet it will be useful, but I almost wonder how TikTok will teach me things about home ownership, because I feel I've learned a lot about other things. And this just also reminded me, for some reason, about... Oh, no, you know why it did? Because it's how you learn about things on TikTok and how you find information on TikTok. The other day, driving through Columbus, I saw that they've opened a restaurant it's a cafe called Tertulia, which no one, I guess, knows, unless we've talked about it before, that the original name of our TikTok group chat was TikTok Tertulia. Dina.
Which I would pronounce Churchilla.
Right, which is a crime against humanity. But
okay, just in my defense, so would Melissa.
Well, yes. So, Tertulia is a social gathering in the Hispanophone world. And according to the AI overview, sorry, rainforests and trees and water sources, because I tried to explain what a tortilla was just out of my own brain yesterday to our group chat, and Ashley said it was the slowest I've ever spoken in my life.
It was. Ashley was right. It was the slowest. Your voice note, I wish Bray didn't figure out there is a way to play it at like ×2 speed. We needed that.
I mean, on WhatsApp you sure can, but whatever.
Yeah.
So tertulias are gatherings with literary or artistic overtones. People come, talk to each other, exchange ideas. And in Spain, especially in like the 1800s, it was like you would gather at cafes. They would also talk about politics. The French equivalent is the salon. And so I think I must have been the one who named it, because I'm the only one, no offense, who knows what a tertulia is in this group of people. And then you called it turtilla, and then there was some sort of turtle aspect, and now we got to our final form, which is
toileteers.
Right. And so Ashley, when I messaged about TikTok tertulia, went and I guess TikTok searched tertulia and was like, I don't see the trend.
But this bar in Columbus, it just happens to be named Tertulia.
It's a cafe, and so it's a bakery and cafe, and it's just open. It has 9 Google reviews. It is a place. I mean, it's playing on the fact that tertulias would happen in cafes. I'm gonna research more, but I just saw it and I was like,
when I go to
OMG.
Columbus, I'm gonna go.
Oh, we're gonna do a pilgrimage, and we're gonna talk about TikTok there.
Tertulia.
Of course.
You know, it's really disappointed. We had a local new restaurant pop up and we were dying to try it. So we finally tried it and it was disappointing. I said I gave it 8 months of life. Like by February, I think it's going to be out of business, but it just wasn't good. And I do give it the benefit of the doubt because it is new, but the menu is weird. They were just, and everything we ordered was a miss. So there's just too many good places in New York City to go and just not have a mediocre, expensive meal.
This was by your house?
Yeah.
What
new place
cuisine
2
was
blocks
it?
away? I can't even tell you. There's matzo ball soup on the menu. There's like fried cauliflower. There's flatbreads. There's pizza. There's brisket. It's a very weird menu. We got the burger because you think, you can't really mess up a burger. And I didn't like the burger.
You sure can mess up a burger.
Exactly. You sure can.
Also,
I don't know.
I don't know why, but you listing those things on the menu is making me think about the menu for Sir in Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like also sort of a wild menu. No?
Wild. Their famous dish there was
goat cheese balls.
Bowls. The bowls. I don't know why. The bowls.
Didn't you go to Sir or you went to
Of
Tom
course.
Tom?
I went to Sir and Tom Tom.
Of course you did.
Both thrilling experiences.
Isn't Sir closed now or Pump is closed?
I think they might both be closed. I'm actually not sure.
Well, I've done slightly more research into Tertulia, and it is not open yet, but it says it's a modern cafe rooted in Spanish tradition. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Great.
I'm
Well,
excited.
I would like to start off by saying that me, Ashley, friend of the pod, and Sam fulfilled a bit that was born through TikTok, which was we tried Wingstop for the first time, and then we went to see the huge pigeon statue on the timeline, and the pigeon statue's name is Dinosaur. On the timeline,
On
yeah.
the High Line.
On the High Line. Wow, I can't speak today. So Wingstop was good. It was better than expected.
I have some feedback for you.
I don't trust your feedback. How many times have you been to Wingstop?
How many times have you been to Wingstop?
I just went recently.
Exactly.
When's
How
the
many
last
times
time
have you
went?
ordered buffalo wings?
A lot.
How many times have you ordered wings?
A lot.
Then tell
I
me
can't
why
count.
you didn't get bone-in, and tell me why you didn't get lemon pepper.
Please tell me if you've ever eaten at Wingstop.
I don't think that matters. I know how to order buffalo wings. Why
It
would I
does
order
matter.
chicken tenders if I'm going to a
We
place
didn't
called...
order chicken tenders.
You ordered boneless. Boneless wings are chicken tenders. Yes.
They're just little balls.
You
anyway,
you're
because we needed the deal. And I don't trust someone who's never been to the establishment.
Okay.
So your advice
Okay.
is
But I've eaten
garbage
buffalo
to me.
wings, and
So
lemon
have I.
pepper is one of the best ones, and bone-in is supreme.
Well, I read a lot about the flavors, and you know what? I think this is too triggering for you. I don't even think we could continue this Wingstop conversation.
I don't know if you know that I have a side chat now with Sam and my friend in Spain, Matt.
I do know because I've seen a screenshot about you bullying her about the order. And I said, if she's never been to Wingstop, there's no way you are like, I can't even listen to the bullying. It's not valid.
I think that people can inform their wing ordering decisions by
I've had
having
wings many times in my life.
Well, you ordered.
This is not what we did at
Fine.
Wingstop.
I'll go to Wingstop by myself.
Good.
Actually,
Good. And
I'll
then
bring
you could give
Ivan.
us feedback.
Fine.
Okay.
I actually almost did order wings. Oh, but it was from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Very different.
I've never had those either.
I have.
Well, fine.
Anyway, we had a perfect evening. We went to Wingstop. The pigeon was beautiful and majestic. And then we went to Din Tai Fung and got mostly desserts, which was really great. So it was just such a lovely evening. And I did make a TikTok about it.
I was concerned that you hadn't gotten soup dumplings, and Sam was like, don't worry, we also got soup dumplings.
Well, we wanted to get vegetables there because we hadn't eaten any vegetables.
that is such a Sam decision.
It is. But then once we got there and sat down at Din Tai Fung, we're like, no, we need the soup dumplings. We can't get veggies.
It also is actually really nice to travel with Sam because she like reminds you to search for vegetables, because otherwise I just kind of like accept it and go forth with like a fiberless life.
Yeah.
But she's always like on the hunt, and then
She's on the hunt for the veggies.
Yeah, and then I'll order veggies in new and different ways, and that's how I ended up eating a very hot eggplant dish in 100-degree weather on a terrace.
That sounds terrible, but great. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to my For You page. So Wimbledon is happening right now. I haven't been seeing a lot, but I made Ashley send me some Wimbledon videos because she's on the Wimbledon side of TikTok. This one's very funny. It's by the official Gordon Moat, and it's perfect audio.
Okay, wait, what were you doing?
Well, I was just going to show you what a blind guy hears when tennis is on television.
Okay, let's see it.
But
Let's hear
you
it.
got to close your eyes. You have to close your eyes. You can't watch.
Okay.
Okay. That's what a blind guy sees when tennis is on.
That's really good.
This was so good. This is exactly what tennis sounds like.
Yeah, I went and I was like, is this man actually
Really
blind?
blind?
And
He
he
is.
is. He is, in
Yes.
fact, blind.
Yeah. Great video.
Great impression. Just because you can hear the things doesn't mean you can produce those sounds, you know?
I don't think I
can't
could.
produce any sounds.
You're speaking right now. That's a lie. Wow. Okay.
I've never produced a sound in my life.
Sure. Next is Morgan Riddle. Morgan Riddle is a influencer who is the girlfriend of tennis player Taylor Fritz, and she posted a Wes Anderson style video about how she's getting ready to watch her boyfriend play at Wimbledon. You know, she is famous because of her boyfriend, and she's just an influencer. She's just a tennis lady.
Yeah, this was kind of interesting to me. It was so produced in a way that I was like, what's the objective with this?
Because this is her job. Like, her job is making TikTok videos and content.
Sure, but the level of production in this video is very different from like what I eat in a day.
Yeah.
Get ready with me for Wimbledon.
Also, it's an old trend, which I'm surprised by, because the Wes Anderson trend was like a year ago, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good video.
I mean, I thought it was like a really well executed
well
video.
done.
I wonder, oh, you know what it is? She definitely is doing sponsorship for the new Wes Anderson film with Michael Cera.
But that movie came out a while ago, so I don't know.
Or is she like shilling? I don't know. There's always a
some-
strategy.
there's some
always
angle,
a strategy.
I'm sure,
And it's
yeah.
also very like abruptly, stylistically different from her other content from like a quick, cursory glance at her page. So I'm a little surprised. That's all and it's like also going against what we were talking about with what a lot of people like about TikTok is that it's sort of like more vulnerable, less polished. It's incredibly polished, and that's why brands frequently don't do well with their content. So I'm surprised that she would pivot to that type of content.
Well, it's also because it's polished because it's in the style of Wes Anderson, and that it's very much matches his aesthetic too. So I get why it veers from the like inauthentic or authentic.
Authentic.
Authentic
It's just
content,
tonally
yeah.
different from that type of influencer content.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on, I have a video by Sports Ball explaining Nathan's and the hot dog eating contest. Visually, This video is stunning. We will link it in the description. This person can draw like the finest lines, the most beautiful penmanship I've ever seen, and the explanation's great, and you visually are watching what he's talking about as he's talking about it.
Of all the events that take place on 4th of July, few are as interesting as the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. The competition on Coney Island is what it sounds like. Eat as many hot dogs as you can, and this chart will show the competition results since 1972 when it first began. The shaded area below visualizes how long the competition lasts each year, starting at 3.5 minutes and rising to 12 for a while before settling at 10. Above that, the gray bars here show the number of dogs eaten by the winner, and the blue bars signify if a record was set. On the left, you can see a smooth, consistent trend upward in the 80s and 90s, and in the year 2000, a new record was set at an amazing 25 hot dogs in 12 minutes. But this is where everything changed. In 2001, Takeru Kobayashi, a legendary eater from Japan, came and almost doubled the record with 50 in just 12 minutes. It absolutely shocked the hot dog world, and part of his success came from pioneering the Solomon method, where he would separate the dog from the bun, eat the meat first, dunk the bun in water, and then use the soggy bun to wash down the dog. This move revolutionized the game, and Kobayashi won 6 years in a row, setting 4 new records along the way. Then in 2007, a new era dawned, with the official arrival of Joey Chestnut. In his first victory, he finished 66 hot dogs in 12 minutes, and as the competition turned over to a 10-minute format, he began dominating like no athlete has done before.
How many hot dogs do you think you could eat in a hot dog contest?
The hot dog contest is 10 minutes now. It used to be like 12. And Joey Chestnut this year did 70. I think I could do, I would say 1 a minute, maybe 12.
I
think
guess
could do
at what
12.
point do you think you would throw up?
You have to train for this. So yeah, if there's no training, I would have to stop. And I think it would be a 12.
I don't think I could do 12.
Really? How many do you think?
I like hot dogs, and I feel like when you eat a hot dog, you normally want more than one, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you're normally like, I ate 1 hot dog and I'm satisfied. So 2 hot dogs,
That's easy.
easy. 3 hot
Sure.
dogs, probably full by that point. So now you're pushing past full. Vomit stage, I would say probably would be 8.
8 for you. Well, I think if you did the strategy of dipping the bun in the water and then eating, like, I could get to 12. I'm not going to try it, though. It seems very gross. I don't
Yeah,
want to try
really
it.
disgusting, not for me.
But I do love Coney Island, as you know.
I do know.
We went one year. I went with my family and we watched.
And?
It's pretty gross to see like all this shit flying around, but it's fascinating.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I recommend going once.
I told you about the pawpaw eating festival.
Oh,
Sorry,
we
the
know
pawpaw
all
eating contest.
about the pawpaw contest.
Well, the pawpaw eating contest at the Pawpaw Festival, which
Yes.
is coming up in September.
It is. Yes, very exciting.
I was just talking with people about whether or not it would be worth attending again with the $30 entrance fee.
It's not free. That's a good segue to your For You page, Columbus content.
Sure is.
I have a gay cousin from Long Island, and all his friends from New York have moved here
Yeah.
because of all the fashion stuff.
This is a fashion city?
So I love this. Also, they're eating hot dogs in this video.
And this creator is Wish You Were Queer TV.
I think I'm about to live really close to this hot dog place. When you come to Columbus, we'll go. And we will not eat more than 2 hot dogs. Or 3.
Definitely not.
Last time we were in Columbus, we ate hot dogs, but they were bad. We ate those like Korean ones that have the sugar on them.
Oh, the corn dog one. That was
then-
the first time I was
Here's
in
the thing,
Columbus,
though. I
yeah.
actually didn't think they were that bad, but Ashley wouldn't stop talking about how much she hated them. And
Yeah,
so
I had really good, like, same thing where there were all these different corn dog flavors in New York. I didn't think they were bad.
I think
They
it's just
weren't-
kind of like an unhealthy concept, and so people can't get over that.
kind of it is healthy.
Just sort of an unhealthy concept.
Yeah. But do you think there's fashion in Columbus?
LOL. I went into the comments for this one, and the people who are, I think it depends on your definition of fashion, because
Yes.
it is true that, and this is what people point out in the comments, that Columbus is headquarters of a lot of large brands. So
Really? Which ones?
Abercrombie. Okay, so I've talked to you about Les Wexner.
Uh-huh. Of Abercrombie.
Abercrombie, I think Victoria's Secret, Express, friend of Jeffrey Epstein, owner of a lot of OSU, or like donor.
Right.
He's a
Donor,
huge
yeah.
donor. So
Like,
his name
there's
is on
buildings with his
everything.
names. Yeah.
The house we just bought is down the street from the Abercrombie and Fitch emergency room.
That's crazy that a hospital wing is named after Abercrombie and Fitch. Wow.
An entire building. There's also the Big Lots Behavioral Health Pavilion.
No way. Oh, that is funny. You should do a TikTok about that.
Oh, I surely should. But so people were like, well, people really do come here and work here because it's the headquarters of so many companies.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not high fashion. It's like mid-market normie fashion, and it's mass market fashion. I've also read somewhere that like Columbus is a city where they do a lot of consumer testing because it's considered like a very average population or something. I would need to corroborate this. Do not take my word for this, but it does track.
Yeah, it does.
What would you say about Columbus's fashion, like from coming here?
Here's what I would say. I can't speak to fashion at all because I have zero fashion sense. So if I were to comment on fashion, that'd just be wrong. But I think I do agree with the mid-tier kind of. It's not New York. It's
mass
not
market.
Milan. Yeah.
What? Columbus and Milan. Yeah, I mean, you'll see some things, but like most of what you're seeing is just the most normal like mall brand fashion.
Abercrombie. Yeah. What else you got on your For You page?
I got a video by MC667868 about a silent retreat or an attempt to go to a silent retreat at a monastery.
Want to know how bad things are? Don't worry, I'll tell you how bad things are. I booked a vow of silence at a Catholic monastery late last year, and the booking process is really straightforward. You just email the nuns and they give you some dates, but overall, they're really flexible. And I had a great time when I went. It was a lot of fun. I went to go book a reservation again at the monastery for the summer, and I just got an email from one of the nuns saying, yeah, we're actually fully booked for the next 3 months for people that want to take a vow of silence upstate at a monastery in the summer. We're fully booked. And then she told me that she could put me on Notify in case someone else cancels their vow of silence. So if you have a vow of silence booked and want to cancel, please let me know. Maybe we can start a Resi app for vows of silence.
Catalina, could you ever go to a silent retreat?
I mean, I could go.
Would you be we've tried this with you. You can't be
I
silent.
don't think that experiment was under the correct circumstances. I am frequently silent.
I don't believe
Not
it.
in a group of giantness.
A group of, but you would be around other people at a monastery, and you would not be allowed to talk.
That's why I said I could go. I didn't say I wouldn't get kicked out.
You definitely would get kicked out. I think I could do this. I wouldn't want to, though. It's not for me.
How long would you be willing to do so?
I wouldn't want to.
Okay, but gun to your head, you have to do it.
I have to do it.
And the
How
minimum
long?
is 48 hours.
Oh, I could be silent for 48 hours for sure.
I mean, if I had food no, I'd be throwing up. I was like, if I had food poisoning, I wouldn't
You'd
talk.
be making a lot of noises. Yeah, I would.
Well, what counts as silent?
What do you mean? What counts as
Like,
silent?
could
Not
I
speaking.
make other noises?
So you'd be just like humming and grunting and groaning? What the fuck would you be doing? I don't know, but it's a good question. Can you hum?
I think
Can you
that this
whistle?
video is a temperature check on how people are feeling right now because
People are
everyone's
unwell,
like, I need to go to
exactly.
the woods. I need to
And
be alone.
not talk to anyone.
I need to not talk to anyone. I understand the appeal of not talking to anyone. I like to have some recharge time. I just think that I am the type, my anxious habit is if I'm in a group and there's awkward silences, and this was a TikTok we recently saw.
It was by Caleb Heron.
Love him. And it's true.
Love
It's
him.
like my job is to fill the awkward silences. I am the dance motivator of conversation.
You're the bat mitzvah motivator.
I feel that way, and I need to be better about just like sitting in the silences, especially in like socially awkward type scenarios, but frankly, it's not going well for me.
I think every group does need that person, though. I don't think I am that person. I can just not speak, especially if it's around newer people I'm less comfortable with. But I do appreciate the person who does fill the silence because I do feel awkward in the silence, but I won't jump in with the thing to say.
It depends on the scenario.
You'll jump in.
I'll
yeah.
jump in, or
Which
I'll
I
try
think is
to
great.
get people. I also just get mad when you're like talking to people and they don't ask you questions and they're just like
Well,
letting the
yeah.
conversation die. And I'm like, could you not? But no, I get in a lot of like, in the type of work that I'm in, you meet a lot of characters, and I feel like I can read, I don't know, vibes, and can kind of like try to like speak to people's vibe a little bit and get a conversation going, or at least make it like less uncomfortable. But some people are just really fine with sitting there, and I hate it. Ugh, it makes me want to die.
Oh God.
But I do wonder what the
for
food
you.
is like at the retreat.
Yeah, I think I just would rather, if I had time off, I'd rather lay on a beach somewhere.
Silently.
It could be silent, but I would like music.
Actually, I do kind of prefer a quiet beach. That's
Yeah,
why
me
I
too.
know I'm not Brazilian, besides not being Brazilian, is the city beaches in Brazil are like, it's a vibe. Like there's people selling things, like music, lots of vendors. You can buy so many different, like especially like, you know, in Rio, whatever. It's like, it is a scene. I think I prefer a more like quiet beach scene for myself personally.
We did one of those club beaches in Greece, and when you go in the beginning of the day, it's very calm, quiet, and then at 3 p.m., where I had like just been swimming a lot, I was tired, and I was just like had the right amount of alcohol, and I was about to take a nap, and then the crazy club music came on, and I was like, oh no, this is, and then I had to change vibes completely.
That's
and
when
I, of
Lindsay
course, had a
Lohan
good
comes
time.
out and does her
Exactly.
little leg move.
But it was not for me.
Yeah, I mean, if I know I'm going into that, I think I can just prepare. But I do prefer a beach that I am just sort of like relaxing and no
Restful.
one is speaking to me.
But you're speaking at people because you can't sit in silence.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to an audio trend that's been happening for a while now, but I keep getting it over and over. It's to the song Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. The theme is everyone says, you look happier. So I'm going to go through some examples of some ones that I thought were great. The first one is by Meredith Y. McKenzie. And it's, you look happier. And she says, thanks. There's a fight in my town's local Facebook group with 200 comments. You know what? I feel like I'm not on Facebook anymore. We used to be in that Facebook group, Red Flags of Dating.
No, it's
And
called Are We Dating the Same Guy at NYC?
Oh, right. And the comments in those, because they would post a picture of a guy, and then the comments would be like, don't date him, he's married, he cheats, blah, blah, blah. Those would be, so I can get it's so entertaining, those Facebook comments.
Facebook was really, I feel as though I had just like a tick where I would open Facebook on my phone and not know why. Like, I don't care about opening Facebook. And my friend just taught me how you can, and I know this is like telephones 101, but how you can remove an icon from the screen but like still have the app on your phone. Did you know how to do that?
Yeah, you just delete it, but you don't like actually fully delete the app. Is that what you do?
There's just an option to like remove from home screen.
Oh, yeah.
But you can still search for it. So I did that
Right.
with Facebook, and I don't miss it, and I'm not clicking on it. But
Great.
now with the house, I think I'm gonna have to re-add it because I want to use Marketplace.
Oh, yeah, you need it for Marketplace.
Yeah, so I need
But
to
then
figure
just
out
remove it again.
my way around that. But it's truly fascinating. This is kind of like my reflection on the way that watching TikTok and seeing people's like aspirational type organizational lifestyle content affects your brain. I didn't realize how much Facebook was affecting my brain until I took it off of the home screen and I don't open it anymore.
You were an addict and you took it away.
And an addict
now.
is something I didn't even like.
Yeah, that's crazy. Next example is by grandma_Joniak, who I love. She said, thanks. I just survived my first year in the nursing home and I sit at the popular table. Great old people content.
Love it.
The next one is by Real Mouse Vibes, and it's, you look happier. Thanks. I just saw Jonathan Bailey in little hoochie glasses on a 70-foot screen. She had just seen Jurassic Park. Now, we are planning a night to see Jurassic Park here in New York because a lot of friends.
We?
Sam, well, who's not obsessed with Jonathan Bailey? Who doesn't want to see him? You? You don't have any interest?
I would see him. I would see Jurassic.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared of Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, the dinosaurs.
I remember the first time I saw Jurassic Park was in
We were
Argentina.
young.
and it was on the TV. So it must have been like, you know, obviously it was on the TV. So when did Jurassic Park come out? And I just remember not really knowing what was going on and being scared. And like all the rain. Isn't there a lot of rain in that movie at one point?
I don't remember, but
Whatever.
sure. There's so many of them now. But I think you're old enough where I don't think the dinosaurs would scare you as much.
I think you underestimate my level
Your
of
scarediness.
scaredy cat.
Scarediness. Yeah. There was another great video of Jonathan Bailey, and he plays the clarinet really well. And he got to play the clarinet with the orchestra of the score that did the Jurassic Park. And he was so happy that he got to play the clarinet, and it was in the movie.
You know what I'm
He's
kind of
adorable.
reflecting on right now? Jonathan Bailey really like shot to stardom after Bridgerton in a way that the guy who was in the first season of Bridgerton didn't.
No, I disagree. The guy who was in the first season shot to stardom, but then didn't really take off from there.
Well, he didn't maintain. Jonathan Bailey.
He didn't maintain.
That's what I'm
yes,
saying.
but he shot to stardom.
No, but
he didn't maintain.
that's not shooting to stardom. He had notoriety, and then he didn't make it past the show that gave him notoriety.
Okay.
Where is he now?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
I
but
feel
Jonathan
like
Bailey's
that
wicked.
man's publicist or manager, whoever, really messed up with whatever they did.
Yeah.
Because Jonathan, the whole thing that, like, the little I know was that he was basically like, I'm not going to do Bridgerton so I can focus on more serious things or, you know, things beyond this. Whereas Jonathan Bailey, like, continued to do Bridgerton and then was able to maneuver into
For sure.
bigger roles and onto with this spotlight.
You know who I was next to at lunch today?
Who?
A celebrity.
Should I guess?
Yeah, I did this with Ben. He couldn't guess, but maybe you'll guess.
Okay, and then actually I have a guessing game for you after that.
Okay, great.
quickly.
Okay, this celebrity hasn't acted in a while. This is why I thought about it, because it's similar to whoever that guy from Bridgerton is. Blonde female.
How old?
Maybe a little older than us. Yeah.
Claire Danes.
No. Claire Danes has been in stuff
Recently?
recently. Yeah. I don't know.
Is it someone on the level of
Blonde.
Claire Danes?
I would. That's tough. A little lesser, I think.
Lesser than Claire Danes. Have I seen her? Do I know her?
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't make you play this guessing game.
Older than us. Less famous than Claire Danes.
Blonde.
Blonde. Natural blonde?
Yeah. She looked really good, actually. She wasn't wearing makeup, and she looked stunning.
Chloe Sevigny.
No. Isn't she younger than us?
No, you're thinking of Chloe, the one who was in like
I'm thinking of
Mad Men.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, Chloe
Okay,
Grace
yeah.
Was she a TV or film actress? Actor,
Film.
sorry.
Film.
Pooey. Okay, I'm gonna guess one more, and then this is boring for people.
Yeah.
I like, this is like name a woman. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of people who haven't acted recently. The girl in Dawson's Creek who's still alive. Busy Phillips. No, she's in
No.
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
just tell me.
But that's a good guess. Okay, Julia Stiles.
Oh, Julia
10 Things I Hate About
Stiles,
You.
Of course.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
famous. Wait, what's going on with Julia Stiles these days?
Yeah, she hasn't been in a lot these days. But Save the Last Dance. Oh my god, I should have said I loved you in these
She
movies,
lives in
but
New
I
York,
didn't
New
talk to
York.
her.
She's 44.
Oh, so she is older than us. Yes.
She's married to a man named Preston Cook. 3 children.
Wow.
Why did Julia Stiles stop acting? She has not stopped acting. Wait,
Yeah, I think
but no,
she's
this
been.
was.
I think she's been in some stuff, but I think she's definitely could have been in more after the way her career is going. But I think she made a decision to not act as much.
First feature film was released in 2025 as a director.
I was gonna
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, as a director. Good, she's directing now.
Yeah,
That's
she
great.
made her writing and directorial debut with Elle Magazine's short Raving in 2007. She also was in an Amazon Prime series called The Lake in 2022. That might have been the most recent thing.
Yeah.
Oh, she got a degree from Columbia in English literature.
Okay. Well, that was a great celeb sighting I had. I enjoyed that.
She dated Jonathan Gordon-Levitt at Columbia.
That makes sense.
They lived in John Jay Hall. Why were they living in the dorms?
They wanted to be normal.
No.
Okay, what was the guessing game for me?
Okay. I went to a winery in Galicia that had a brochure. It was a very beautiful winery. in this like huge like mansion property that apparently the family still lives in, and it's in Rias Baixas, which is where Albarino's from. But like kind of rural. Galicia in general is just like not the easiest place to get to in Spain from other countries. Anyway, on the back of the brochure, there is a celebrity. I would like you to guess who that celebrity was. I said to Ivan, "You will never guess," and then he guessed, and I was like,
On the
"How did
first
you
try?
guess?"
With
In a
no-
couple tries, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Can you give me gender and hair color like I gave to you?
Brunette, male.
Tom Cruise.
It's not an actor. I'm gonna tell you that.
Is it a singer?
No, very famous person. They're also dead. Wait, yeah, I guess he's brunette.
And dead.
He's brunette and dead.
Was he in a wheelchair?
Yes.
What's his? It's not Hawking's. Did I get that?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Wow. That is weird.
I know.
Okay.
And Ivan got it.
Stephen Hawking's. So
Stephen
he
Hawking.
visited that.
Stephen Hawking went to that winery and they put a picture of him on the back of their brochure.
Oh, cool.
Very strange.
Okay.
Yep. I was like, what? This is the last person I expected on this brochure.
Okay.
Now I'm sad because I think I recycled the brochure when I'm in purge mode because I'm moving. Now I'm like, damn it, I needed that.
I'm sure you could find it on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, the last example of the trend "You Look Happier" is by the Contra Cowboy, and he says, "Thanks. I went from having 0 Labubus to having 4 Labubus, and now I take them line dancing." And it's a video of him with all his Labubus clipped on his belt line dancing, and it's hilarious.
I think this is at Stud Country, which is I think it's in Brooklyn. I think Bronwyn goes there.
I was going to say, you know this because of Bronwyn for sure. But that's great.
Yes,
I hope
it's
Bronwyn has seen this man with the Labubus.
Probably.
Do you have a Labubu?
I don't even know what those are, and I don't want to know.
They're those creepy looking dolls.
I think someone sent me something where like Labubus are basically like today's Furbies.
They're like today's Beanie Babies. Yeah, exactly.
But then there's another thing that's like today's Beanie Babies, which are those little child stuffed animals that people collect.
Yeah, I know
I
what
have
you're
a
talking
friend
about.
who collects them.
Okay. Cool.
Good story.
Last but not least, in our food and drink section, this is a weird one. I keep getting content about the Hamptons, and there's a famous place called Surf Lodge in the Hamptons. And I got 2 videos about their chicken tenders there, maybe because of Wingstop, who knows. But the first is by Queen Richer.
Chicken tender review at Surf Lodge. $150 for this little platter. This is amazing. It's worth every penny of whatever guy's table this is. Like, this is amazing.
So they're $150. All the comments are like, you're eating frozen Tyson chicken tenders.
I mean,
This
they do
is-
look good for tenders, and I
They
can
look
see
good.
like being drunk and being like, yeah, fuck it, we're buying $150
course.
chicken tenders.
And then the next video is by Max Cohen.
You guys, Surf Lodge in Montauk has the best chicken tenders ever. Man.
I think they're saying they're the best because they're so expensive and you have to rationalize it.
It's a captive market. It's like when you go to a music festival and you pay like $50 for a
$16 for
beer.
water,
You know, like
yeah.
it's just you're in a captive market. The food is not bad. Like, I mean, if they were
Yeah.
bad and $150, we would have a problem.
They'd be held to pay. Yeah.
We would have a serious
But are they the best? I don't know.
No, but what are the best, you know?
Is it Wingstop?
Oh,
I
so
don't
you
think
admit
so.
they're chicken tenders? Oh, so you admit it?
They're boneless wings.
Where does boneless wing start and chicken tender end?
Chicken tenders are flatter and longer. The boneless wing was more rotund and round and smaller.
Was a boneless wing a wing from which the bones were removed?
Yeah, there was no bones.
Was it an animal's wing? Let's
No.
go back to the
It wasn't
anatomy
an
of the
animal's
bird.
wing, but it
Where
wasn't
from
a
the
tender.
bird
It was a
did the boneless so-called wing come from?
The wing.
No, it didn't. You know it
They
didn't.
just removed the bone.
That's what I was asking. That's definitely not what it is. Where
It's okay.
do
Well,
boneless
Wingstop
wings
calls it boneless wings.
come from? They are made from chicken breast meat. It is cut into strips, battered, and fried.
Well, then Wingstop,
They're
that's
nuggets.
fake marketing then, because it says boneless wings.
It's all marketing is fake.
It's okay. We had a great experience in that.
I believe that
that's
you
all
had
that
a great experience. I just need you to understand that you need to do it again with bone-in wings.
And you need to do it for the first time before you could comment on it.
Maybe I will.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode.
Wow, what a violent episode we've had.
Violent ending. Thanks everyone for listening. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.